Hey family, welcome to How Love Works, where we talk about the principles for lasting love. Well, family, I got a comment from one of my subscribers, and his name was Maurice Williams. Hey, brother, just want to give you that shout out. And he had a pretty profound question, if I should say the least. And the question gave me pause. So much so, I decided that what I wanted to do was give a video response to his question. Now, I don't want to keep you guys in the dark any longer than I need to. So here's his question. He said, related to the last review that I gave on Ready to Love, Season 3, Episode 3. His question was, or his comment had to do with, wish I had spoken more about Alisha. You guys know who Alisha was. She's the full-figured lady on the show. His observation was, and I quote, "It seems that she's trying to pursue men leading with sexual energy." And his question was, would I consider Alicia's energy masculine? Would I consider Alicia's energy masculine? Well, I want you guys to give that a little bit of a thought. Based upon what you saw when she was trying to interest Bryant in maybe coming to her room and maybe watch some videos, and she seemed to be very alluring, and she was using a lot of sexual energy and sensual and physical energy, and it appeared that it was working. But to answer his question, I would say no. She was not operating in masculine energy. Now, let me be crystal clear here. The difference here with femininity and masculinity is with the term pursue. The situation here is this: feminine women and ladies, you may not disagree with this, but this has been my understanding, and this is what I see when it comes to feminine women. Feminine women never, and I repeat, never ever pursue. That's when you know you're dealing with a feminine woman. They never ever pursue. Even if they like the man, even if they are obsessively attracted to the man, they will not pursue. All right? Now, let me tell you what they do. What they do is they initiate this concept of what I call participating and inviting. They use, in this case, I'm going to use two women. One is Alisha, which we already know. I'm going to call her the Temptress because she uses her physicality. She uses her sensuality. She uses sexuality. That's part of being feminine. And what she's doing, she's almost doing what the Ulysses found out with the siren song. And the siren song invites men in to participate. And then of course the ships crash on the rocks, and of course they get eaten up by the sirens. All right. That being said, you get the point. Now, the difference between her and Joy, they're using the same energy, but in two different ways. They are both, neither one of them are pursuing the men. They are both beckoning the men. They are both seeking that the men pursue them. They are both inviting the men to pursue them. They're both doing it. It's just Alicia's using pleasure. She's using her physicality. She's using her sensuality. She's using her sexuality, her sex appeal, if you will. Where Joy, she's almost fully covered. But what Joy is doing is Joy is using her playfulness and is doing a much better job at getting the attention from men than using her sexuality. See, the problem with using sexuality and sensuality to attract men, you will get a lot of attention, but you will fail to get their affection. Sensuality and sexuality, you will get a lot of attention, but you will fail miserably at getting men's affection. I hope you understand that, ladies. Now, you can see, based upon her using play as a way to get men to participate and to get men and to initiate men and to call them into a relationship with her, in a sense, inviting them into a relationship with her or inviting them to pursue her, you can see these qualities in the way she is doing it. Like in her case, I had to write all this stuff down so I wouldn't forget it. All right. You can see her self-confidence, right? She likes herself. She likes who she is. She's comfortable in her own skin, no matter how big or small she is, right? She's being herself. Men can always tell when women are playing a role or they're really being authentic. Men are very sensitive to authenticity, all right? Number 3, she's interested in other people. This means she can listen just as enthusiastically as she can speak, right? She's willing to need a man and not be needy and not be clingy, right? And not think of herself as less than, right? She actually likes men. You can see that. She's smiling. She's agreeable. She's easy to speak with. She doesn't expect men to act like women, to think like women, to feel like women. She actually sees men. She actually sees them as something that as someone that's bringing something unique, a different way of looking at life. And lastly, she thinks for herself. We see that when she talks. She thinks for herself. That means she has her own opinion, but she's also able and willing to allow someone to have a different opinion than hers. And that is the difference with her. You notice what happened when Alisha didn't get what she wanted out of Bryant? And of course, Shay was in the middle of all that. But that's another story. Now, one of the other areas that I noticed when it comes to this issue of sexual attraction is this area that begs this question that a lot of women always ask. And I wrote this down too. A lot of women ask me this, and it goes like this. Why is it that the man or the men I'm attracted to never like me, and the ones I'm not attracted to, they do? Why is that? You ever asked that question, ladies? Well, it's rather simple. Denise is a perfect example of that question. She's perfect. The reason is because when a woman is sexually attracted to a man, a lot of things change immediately when that woman's sexually attracted to a man. What first actually happens is her confidence. She starts to lose her confidence. It's almost the same situation that happens when she actually has intercourse with that man. All right. She becomes self conscious. She starts to lose her confidence. She becomes timid. But in Denise's case, she becomes aggressive. Some women become timid, and some women become aggressive, right? And especially, she goes out of her way to please him. She contorts herself to fit what she thinks he wants. This is the kind of stuff you see Denise doing, okay? Because if you guys remember when Denise first saw Califani, she was just really raving on about his body, his size, all his physicality. She was, oh my goodness, you can see the sexual attraction in her. She was going off of the Richter scale. She was about to blow up. That's how she was so into him. And so you can see that if he gave any attention to any other female, or if she didn't get the attention, whether it was because his attention was drawn to something else or another female, she was going to have problems. Now, the reason that's a bad thing and why I always suggest that women never get into a relationship with a man that they are sexually, very strongly sexually attracted to is because of the examples that I just read. And all you ladies have to do is look at Denise. Just look at her. That's you. That's what happens when you are strongly turned on by a man. You start looking silly. You can either be a very aggressive person, very timid, foolish looking, lose confidence, my goodness, self-conscious or insecure, whatever you want to use. That's how you look, right? And I've even told both my daughters this. Now, I know if you guys watch me from the beginning, I think, and this is a little bit off subject, but when I first started this channel, my daughter was divorced. But I have been giving this information to my own daughters for years. And of course, my oldest daughter is very feminine. So as I mentioned even then, I said then that my daughter's not going to probably stay single if she doesn't want to. And what happened? My daughter's married. My oldest daughter's married. Now, she had 2 kids from her previous marriage. She's married and got a third coming from her with her new marriage. Bought a home with her husband. Everything's cool. You know, because my daughters listen to their old man, if you will. They actually listen. I know some. Been married 40 years, almost 40 years. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this kind of thing. And it is counterproductive. A lot of women go, wait a minute, you know, I should be able to be in a relationship with a man that turns me on because that would mean that our relationship is more likely to last. Wrong. No, no, it won't. I think what you ladies are missing is you don't understand the Al Roker effect. You need to operate with the Al Roker effect. I might have a little time to go into that, but let me say this. When it comes to Denise, I'm gonna finish on this. The reason Denise is not gonna get what she wants out of California is because of the things I just mentioned. But the real reason she's not gonna get anywhere with him is because he never met Denise. Now ponder that one. He never met Denise. Not one time. He met this girl who was caught up in the sensuality of his sex appeal. And so she put on an act and her aggression came up. He never met her. The only way a man will meet you and the only reason men that you're not attracted like you is because you're not sexually attracted to them. So you don't change. You stay your natural self. and you're very comfortable around that guy. And so when he sees the real you and then he likes the real you, you can say, well, I'm not sexually attracted to this guy. I'm not into it. So here's where the Al Roker effect comes in. Now, a lot of women might say, well, Al Roker is probably maybe not the most alluring man in the world. However, most women don't understand that if you run into a man who may not do it for you sexually, in terms of attraction, don't necessarily kick the man to the curb. He may have all the other qualities that you're looking for and want. Get a man a chance. It's obvious you're not going to be jumping in the rack with him. You're not going to have sex with him. So you're going to get a chance to really get to know the young man. And then if you get a chance to know the young man, guess what normally happens? That Al Roker effect. You'll look up one day and go, You'll take a second look. He's starting to move some juices around in you. He's starting to get you a little excited under the collar, you know. So don't count a brother out just because he's a 6. And I don't necessarily mean in terms of looks. He's just a 6 in terms of where he might be on your Richter scale in terms of your attraction towards sexuality. That's all I'm saying. All right. Here's my takeaway for this young brother and for the young ladies. Now, I'm going to let it go after this. Even though sexual attraction is, for women, femininity and sensuality and sexual attraction is something that women do as part of that spectrum on, as being a feminine woman. What really attracts us men is both. We obviously want the woman to be have a little sex appeal. We just don't want it that over the top like obviously Alisha was doing. I think a woman has to control that aspect and kind of like drip it out, if you will. I think she needs to be just as playful as she is alluring and tempting a man's pleasure, because if he is only involved with you because of the pleasure you elicit, then he is not going to be a long-term candidate. So you kind of need them both. Now, here's the takeaway. If that's all you do, as you're going to see, I'm pretty sure this Friday, I don't know, but I'm just going by what I have experienced in my long life, as it were. Here are some of the problems with if all you're going for is sensuality and sexuality, and you're using that to invite men to pursue you. Here's something that you are going to see and experience. I wrote it down. This is, it doesn't cause a man to pursue a woman romantically. He'll pursue you, but not romantically. He'll pursue you so that he can fulfill his sexual fantasies. That's totally different. It's a selfish motivation, right? Not a selfless. Number 2, it doesn't cause a man to call or to contact or to try to connect with you again. It doesn't cause a man sexual attraction, sensuality. It doesn't cause a man to contact, to connect, and call. All right. Number 3, it doesn't cause a man to consider you as a potential life partner. As I said, it's a response. Men are always responding to women. Men are always responding to women. Always. Keep that at the top of your mind. All right. Number 4, it doesn't cause him, unfortunate ladies, it doesn't cause him to fall in love with you. It just doesn't. All right. It's consistent with the other 3. And number 5, it doesn't get you to your ultimate goal. It doesn't get you to your ultimate goal. Well, ladies, we're brothers. Brother Maurice Williams. Want to know if perhaps maybe we're related. Who knows? That's my time. I thank you for yours. Catch you on the other side. God bless.